My beloved child. There are moments when you look around and wonder why everyone else seems to be moving ahead while your own prayers appear to remain unanswered. You have asked again and again, Lord, why does my breakthrough seem so far away? Why does it feel as though every door I approach remains closed? Listen carefully, because this message speaks directly to the quiet places of your heart. Before you decide that heaven has forgotten your name, pause for a moment and hear this truth. What you are about to understand could completely change the way you see your current season. Many people believe that delay always means denial, but my word teaches something different. Throughout Scripture, I prepared hearts before I released blessings. I strengthened faith before I opened doors. I shaped character before I entrusted greater responsibility. The waiting season was never empty. It was filled with purpose that could not always be seen by human eyes. If you only judge your life by what you can see today, you may miss the deeper work that I am doing within you. There is a question that every believer must answer. Will you continue to trust me when the evidence around you seems incomplete? Faith is not built when every answer is visible. Faith grows when my promises become more real than your circumstances. Abraham believed before he saw. Moses walked before the sea divided. Joshua marched before the walls fell. Their breakthrough did not begin with a miracle. It began with trust. Perhaps your heart has been whispering, what if nothing changes? What if I have prayed too long? What if my opportunity has already passed? Those questions may seem small, but when they remain unchecked, they slowly become seeds of doubt. Doubt does not always arrive with loud words. Sometimes it enters quietly through disappointment, unanswered expectations, or comparisons with other people's journeys. Little by little, it convinces you that my promises are meant for everyone except you. But hear this clearly. I have not forgotten you. I have not overlooked your tears. Every prayer offered in sincerity has been heard. Every moment you remained faithful when no one noticed has been seen. Even the nights when you struggled to believe, I remained faithful because my character does not change with your emotions. My promises stand firm because they are established by my truth, not by your circumstances. Think about Peter stepping onto the water. While his eyes remained fixed on Jesus, he walked where no human strength could carry him. The moment fear became greater than faith, he began to sink. The water did not suddenly become stronger. His focus changed. The same lesson still speaks today. Your circumstances may appear overwhelming, but when your attention stays fixed on my faithfulness instead of your fears, your heart discovers strength that cannot be explained. You have asked me for open doors, but I am also asking you to open your heart. Is there a place where doubt has quietly settled? Is there a promise you have almost stopped believing? Is there a dream you have buried because disappointment became too heavy? Bring those places before me. I do not reject honest hearts. I restore them. I do not turn away those who seek me. I strengthen them. Do not compare your timeline with someone else's testimony. Every calling has its own season. A tree does not produce fruit the day after its seed is planted. It grows roots first. Those hidden roots determine how much fruit it can eventually carry. In the same way, the unseen work taking place within your heart today may be preparing you for blessings that require greater wisdom, humility, and endurance than you currently realize. Remember Joseph. Years passed between the dreams I gave him and their fulfillment. He experienced betrayal, false accusations, and imprisonment before he entered the palace. Looking at only one chapter of his story would have made my plan appear impossible. Yet every difficult season became part of the preparation for the assignment that awaited him. What looked like delay was actually direction. Your story is not finished. The chapter you are living now is not the conclusion. The silence does not mean I have stopped working. Seeds grow beneath the surface long before anyone sees the first sign of life. My work often begins where human eyes cannot see. What appears still may actually be moving according to my perfect timing. When doubt whispers that nothing is changing, answer it with my promises. When fear tells you to quit, remember my faithfulness throughout history. When discouragement says your prayers have been ignored, remember that I hear every sincere cry. Hold tightly to hope, not because your circumstances are perfect, but because I remain trustworthy. There are blessings that arrive quickly, and there are blessings that are carefully prepared. The blessings that require deeper preparation often become the ones that shape generations. Never assume that a longer season means a lesser future. Sometimes it means I am building something stronger than you ever imagined. So lift your eyes again. Choose faith again. Pray again. Trust again. Read my word again. Speak hope again. Let gratitude replace anxiety and let expectation replace discouragement. The breakthrough you seek begins first in the heart that refuses to let doubt become its master. Continue walking with confidence, because I am with you in every step, every prayer, every waiting season, and every unseen moment. The same God who has been faithful before remains faithful today, and my timing is never late. Your breakthrough is not built on fear. It is built on faith that continues to trust even before the answer appears. A quiet truth is often more powerful than a loud miracle, and today I want you to listen with an open heart. You have spent so much time asking why the answer has not arrived that you have almost forgotten how many times I have already carried you through situations that once seemed impossible. Think carefully. There were days when you believed you would never recover, yet here you are. There were moments when you thought every door had closed forever, yet somehow another opportunity appeared. What you called coincidence was often my quiet provision. What you called luck was often my faithful care. Your life has never been outside my sight. Even when you felt unnoticed, I was guiding your steps in ways your eyes could not yet understand. Many people wait for a dramatic sign before they choose to believe, but true faith grows in ordinary moments. It grows when you continue to pray after yesterday's disappointment. It grows when you choose kindness after being hurt. It grows when you keep serving even when no one applauds your efforts. These are the moments that shape a heart capable of carrying greater blessings. Never underestimate what I can accomplish through a life that remains faithful in small things. The greatest transformations often begin with quiet obedience rather than public recognition. There is something important you must understand. Doubt does not always sound like fear. Sometimes it sounds like endless hesitation. It whispers, maybe tomorrow. It says, perhaps this promise was meant for someone else. It convinces you to lower your expectations until you stop praying with confidence. But my promises are not sustained by your emotions. They are sustained by my unchanging character. I remain faithful whether your feelings are strong or weak. I remain constant whether your circumstances are comfortable or difficult. My truth does not change because your season changes. Look at the examples throughout Scripture. Noah built before the rain came. David was anointed long before he became king. Ruth remained faithful before she saw restoration. Esther accepted courage before she understood the full purpose of her position. None of them possessed complete answers when they took their next step. They trusted that I would reveal tomorrow's direction after they remained faithful today. Their confidence rested not in perfect knowledge but in my perfect wisdom. Perhaps your greatest breakthrough is not waiting behind a new opportunity but behind a renewed perspective. Imagine waking tomorrow with gratitude instead of anxiety. Imagine choosing hope instead of comparison. Imagine measuring your progress by faithfulness rather than speed. The world celebrates quick success, but my kingdom values steady trust. A tree that grows slowly often develops stronger roots than one that grows too quickly. When storms arrive, deep roots become visible. The same is true in your spiritual life. Do not allow temporary delays to rewrite eternal promises. The chapter you are living now is only one page of a much greater story. If you judge the entire journey by today's circumstances, you may misunderstand what I am preparing. Sometimes I protect you by asking you to wait. Sometimes I strengthen you before opening a new assignment. Sometimes I remove distractions so you can recognize the blessings that truly matter. Every season has purpose, even when that purpose is not immediately clear. Think about the prayers you have offered over the years. Some were answered exactly as you hoped. Others were answered differently than you expected. Looking back, you may already see moments when my answer was wiser than your request. What seemed disappointing at first eventually became protection. What seemed like a closed door eventually directed you towards something better. My wisdom reaches beyond today's horizon. I see what you cannot yet see, and I lead with perfect understanding. If your heart has become tired, do not be ashamed. Bring your weariness to me. If disappointment has clouded your vision, bring that to me as well. I do not reject honest prayers. I welcome them. A sincere heart that seeks me is never ignored. Even when words are difficult to find, I understand every silent burden and every unspoken hope. My compassion reaches places that human understanding cannot reach. Remember that faith is not pretending difficulties do not exist. Faith is choosing to believe that I remain present in the middle of those difficulties. It is trusting that my peace can guard your heart before every question has been answered. It is believing that my plans remain good even when the road ahead is still unfolding. This kind of faith becomes a light that not only strengthens your own life but also encourages everyone around you. So continue walking with confidence. Continue reading my word. Continue praying with expectation. Continue treating others with grace. Continue believing that every act of faithfulness matters. The seeds you plant today will not remain hidden forever. In the right season, they will produce fruit that reflects my goodness and my faithfulness. Your story is still unfolding, and my work in your life is far from complete. Trust my timing, hold firmly to my promises, and let your heart rest in the assurance that I am guiding every faithful step toward the purpose I have prepared for you. There is a moment in every believer's journey when everything seems unusually quiet. The prayers continue, the hope remains, yet the visible answers appear delayed. If you are living in such a season, listen carefully. Silence is not the same as absence. A seed beneath the soil looks lifeless to the eye, but deep within, unseen growth is already taking place. In the same way, my work in your life often begins where human vision cannot reach. Before the breakthrough becomes visible, faith is quietly being strengthened. Before the blessing arrives, your heart is being prepared to receive it with wisdom, gratitude, and humility. Many people ask for open doors without realizing that I am first building the strength needed to walk through those doors. Imagine receiving a blessing before your character is ready to carry it. The gift would become a burden instead of a testimony. This is why preparation matters. Every lesson you are learning today has value beyond what you can currently measure. Every act of patience, every prayer offered with sincerity, every decision to choose forgiveness over bitterness is shaping the person I created you to become. Nothing placed in my hands is ever wasted. Think of Gideon. He saw himself as weak and insignificant, yet I saw a courageous leader. Think of Jeremiah, who believed he was too young, while I had already prepared him with purpose. Think of Mary, who received an extraordinary calling with humble faith. Again and again, Scripture reminds you that I do not choose people because they believe they are perfect. I strengthen those who trust me despite their limitations. The difference between fear and faith is not the absence of questions. It is the decision to keep following me even while some questions remain unanswered. Sometimes doubt disguises itself as practical thinking. It says, "Be realistic. Expect less so you will not be disappointed." But faith does not ignore reality. It places reality beneath the greater truth of my promises. Faith remembers that I have always been faithful. Faith recalls every past provision and believes that the one who guided yesterday will also guide tomorrow. The history of my faithfulness becomes the foundation for today's confidence. Perhaps you have compared your journey with someone else's and wondered why their life seems to move forward while yours feels slow. Comparison quietly steals joy because it focuses on another person's path instead of the purpose I have designed specifically for you. I never asked you to imitate another story. I asked you to remain faithful in the one I entrusted to you. The plans I have prepared for you cannot be measured by another person's timeline. Your calling has its own season, its own preparation, and its own beautiful purpose. Do not overlook the blessings that already surround you while waiting for the blessing you desire most. Gratitude opens your heart to recognize my presence in ordinary moments. Every sunrise, every opportunity to grow, every relationship that encourages your faith, every quiet reminder of my love is evidence that I have never stopped caring for you. When gratitude fills your heart, discouragement begins to lose its influence, and hope becomes stronger than fear. There will always be voices that encourage you to give up, to settle for less, or to believe that your prayers no longer matter. Yet my voice continues to speak with gentleness and truth. I remind you that hope is never misplaced when it rests in me. I remind you that no sincere prayer disappears unnoticed. I remind you that every step taken in obedience has eternal significance, even when immediate results cannot be seen. Continue trusting the path I have placed before you, because I know the destination long before you arrive there. Remember the disciples during the storm. While fear filled their hearts, I remained present with them. My presence did not eliminate the storm immediately, but it transformed their understanding of who was with them. The greatest source of peace was not the absence of waves but the certainty that they were not alone. The same truth remains for you today. Whatever season you are walking through, my presence is greater than your uncertainty. My peace is stronger than your anxiety, and my wisdom is greater than every unanswered question. Your breakthrough begins in places the world cannot see. It begins when trust becomes stronger than doubt, when hope becomes stronger than discouragement, and when gratitude becomes stronger than complaint. The miracle often starts within the heart before it appears in circumstances. Continue building your life upon my word. Continue choosing faith when fear invites you to surrender. Continue walking one faithful step at a time, knowing that I am directing your path with perfect wisdom. Lift your eyes beyond today's limitations. Refuse to let temporary delays define your future. What I have promised will unfold according to my perfect timing. The waiting season is not proof that I have forgotten you. It is often evidence that I am preparing something deeper than you can presently imagine. Hold firmly to my promises, remain steadfast in faith, and let your heart rest in the confidence that I am working in ways that will one day become a testimony of my goodness, my faithfulness, and my unfailing love. As this message draws toward its conclusion, pause for a moment and allow your heart to become still. If you have listened this far, perhaps it is because you recognize that your greatest battle has never been against your circumstances alone. It has been the quiet struggle between faith and doubt. Every day you choose which voice will guide your steps. One voice points only to what is missing, while the other reminds you of my promises. One measures life by temporary circumstances, while the other measures life by eternal truth. Today I invite you to choose faith again, not because every question has been answered, but because I remain faithful in every season. Remember Elijah after his great victory. Even a faithful servant experienced discouragement and exhaustion. Yet I did not abandon him in his weakness. I met him with compassion, restored his strength, and reminded him that my work was far from finished. If you have ever believed that your moments of weariness disqualify you from my purpose, release that thought today. I do not expect perfection before I continue my work in your life. I ask for a willing heart that continues to seek me, even when the journey feels difficult. Think about the countless ways I have quietly guided your path. There were conversations that redirected your future, opportunities that arrived at the right moment, and unexpected moments of peace that carried you through uncertainty. At the time, you may not have recognized my hand at work. Looking back now, you can begin to see that I was present in ways you did not fully understand. This is how my faithfulness often unfolds. It is not always dramatic, but it is always constant. It is not always loud, but it is always dependable. Do not believe the lie that your best days are already behind you. I am the God who brings renewal. I restore hope where disappointment once lived. I create new beginnings where people expect only endings. Your future is not defined by yesterday's failures or today's limitations. It is shaped by my purpose, my wisdom, and my grace. When you place your trust in me, you step into a story that reaches far beyond what your own strength could accomplish. There will be moments when the path ahead seems unclear. During those times, resist the temptation to rush ahead without wisdom or to remain frozen by fear. Instead, continue taking the next faithful step. A traveler does not need to see the entire road to move forward. One clear step is enough, and then another follows. In the same way, I provide guidance for each season as you walk with me. My direction often becomes clearer through faithful obedience rather than anxious striving. Guard your heart against comparison, because comparison blinds you to the unique calling I have entrusted to you. No two testimonies unfold in exactly the same way. Some journeys involve long seasons of preparation, while others move quickly into visible blessing. Both are held in my hands. Your assignment is not to measure your progress against another person's story. Your assignment is to remain faithful where I have placed you today. Every act of obedience matters. Every quiet prayer matters. Every choice to trust me matters. Never underestimate the power of hope rooted in my promises. Hope is not wishful thinking. It is confident expectation based on my unchanging character. When circumstances shift, my truth remains. When emotions rise and fall, my love remains. When plans change unexpectedly, my purpose remains. Build your confidence on what never changes, and your heart will discover a peace that no temporary challenge can remove. If your heart has been carrying disappointment, release it into my care. If fear has made you hesitant, bring it before me. If doubt has whispered that your breakthrough will never come, answer it with the truth found in my word. I have always been faithful, and I will continue to be faithful. The same God who guided Abraham, strengthened Moses, encouraged Joshua, restored Peter, and transformed Paul continues to work in the lives of those who trust him today. My power has not diminished, and my love has not grown weary. As you move forward from this moment, choose to fill your mind with truth instead of fear. Let gratitude become your daily habit. Let prayer become your first response instead of your last resort. Let kindness shape your actions even when others choose differently. Let forgiveness free your heart from burdens you were never meant to carry. These choices prepare your spirit to recognize my work more clearly and to receive every opportunity with wisdom and humility. One day you will look back on this season and realize that what appeared to be a delay was actually preparation. You will see that every lesson strengthened your character, every challenge deepened your faith, and every unanswered question drew you closer to my heart. What once seemed confusing will become part of a testimony that encourages others to trust me through their own seasons of waiting. Walk forward with courage. Hold tightly to my promises. Let faith become stronger than doubt and hope stronger than fear. I am with you in every quiet morning, every uncertain afternoon, and every peaceful night. I will continue leading you with wisdom, surrounding you with my grace, and strengthening you for every step ahead. Trust my timing, remain steadfast in faith, and remember that the greatest breakthroughs often begin long before they become visible. My plans for you are filled with hope, purpose, and peace, and I will faithfully complete the good work I have begun in your life.